everyone, welcome to Aliya's Akshar Academy. Let's learn class 10's Geography chapter number 1, Resources and Development. In the earlier video, we have discussed about the definition of a resource and classification of natural resources. This video is going to be about classification of resources in detail. So let's get started. Here the resources are classified on the basis of origin. So this is our first category. Here on the basis of origin, resources are classified as biotic and abiotic. Here you need to remember the term biotic, which means that the resources which are derived from the living beings. For example, human beings, plants, animals, etc. All of them comes under the category of biotic resources. Abiotic resource, it is simply the opposite of it, which means the resources which are composed or derived from non-living things. So examples are rocks, metals, soil, etc. Any non-living things. Now let's discuss the second category on the basis of exhaustibility. Here it is classified as renewable resource and non-renewable resource. What is a renewable resource? Here renewable means which we can reproduce or renew, regenerate. Renewable resources means the resources which we can regenerate it. For example, wind energy, solar energy, forest, water, etc. These things will not get exhausted at all, but it can be regenerated, reproduced, you can say. Second category is non-renewable resources, which is simply again the opposite of it, which means the resources which have formed over a long period of time and hence now it cannot be regenerated, renewed again. For example, petroleum. After we use it, can we regenerate petroleum or coal or minerals which we have already used it? No, it cannot be regenerated again. Okay. Now the third category is the resources are classified on the basis of ownership. So ownership means who owns it, whether the resources are individually owned or it is owned by community or is it a national resources or an international resources. So let's discuss each in detail. So on the basis of ownership, let's discuss the first category, that is individual resources, which means that here the resources are privately owned by the individual. For example, a house. Who owns it? Obviously, an individual owns it. A farmland, a plantation field, etc. Next category is community owned resources. So here the community of that area have access or have right to use that resource. For example, a pond in a village. Can an individual own that? No. It is shared by all the people living in that area. You can take an example of a public park also or a grazing ground. So here it is owned publicly. Third category is national resources. So these resources are under the control of a country. So how do we know it? So any resources which are located up to the 12 nautical miles from any country's coast comes under national resource. For example, I'll show you a diagram of southern India here. Okay, so India has a coastline in the eastern as well as western side. So from this coastline till 12 nautical miles, whichever resources are located here comes under or it belongs to India. Okay. Now the fourth category is international resources. So here these resources are owned and regulated by international institutions. International institutions, which we can say that a group of countries can own it together. Here the international institutions can regulate the resources or have control over it up to 200 nautical miles. For national resource, you remember it is 12 nautical miles, and for international it is 200 nautical miles. Now the fourth category is resources are classified on the basis of status of development. Let's take a look. A1 is potential resource. So these resources are found in a particular region, but we have not utilized to its fullest. For example, solar or wind energy in Gujarat as well as in Rajasthan. Even the vast tidal waves in the coasts of India, we still need to utilize to its fullest, to its potential level. Developed resources are the resources which we have surveyed and also quantified, which means that how much it is going to sustain for more 20 years or 30 years. The examples are coal, petroleum, etc. That's why we should use these resources in a sustainable as well as judicious and careful manner. Now the C category is stock resources. So these resources have the potential, have the ability to satisfy human needs, but because we do not have the technical knowledge to how to develop them, how to use them, do not have the right technical knowledge how to develop them in a more sophisticated manner. For example, hydrogen and oxygen present in water, we can develop its further use in future. So which means that it is still need to be developed. Now the fourth category is reserves. These resources are preserved for future use. Okay, so we are actually keeping these resources for the future generations. So with this we covered all the 4 categories of natural resources. Hope you like this video. Please like, share and subscribe. Thanks for watching.